Greetings, everybody. Nickie Brown here. So I often hear people say that they think Aquarians don't show their feelings or express themselves, or that we're cold, which we can be, and we can be distant, right? But I think that that's confusing because I'm not another person, so I don't know what other people do or how other people operate. But what I do know is that usually most Aquarians are like human lie detectors. And so we can tell when someone's not being genuine with us. So why would I open up to somebody who's being fake with me? It doesn't make sense. If you show me a portion of you, I'll show you a portion of me. But if you're not being genuine, how do you expect somebody to open up? And then what exactly does that mean or look like? That you tell everybody your business? Or that you overshare? Like, what exactly does that look like? So if you tell me a story, and again, it's a very surface level story, I'm going to give you some surface. I'm going to give you some surface level nonsense too. Oh yeah, I have a dog and my dog is purple and my dog's name is so-and-so. So you're just telling me, again, some very surface level something. And I'm supposed to tell you my whole life story? Is that how that's supposed to work? It's confusing sometimes. Because you get what you give. So what are you giving? Are you telling somebody how you feel and what you really think? Or are you being passive aggressive and not saying what you think and not saying how you really feel? Because again, it's energy. And people can pick up on your energy. You can say whatever you want to say out of your mouth, but what is your energy saying? That's the question. Energy doesn't lie. So, I don't know. I don't really want to ramble on about it. I just kind of wanted to touch and go. And maybe if you want to tell me what is that supposed to even look like? What is not I guess not, I don't even know what to call it. Like, how does this normally work? How does this normally function? Like, especially too, and I know I said I was going to get off of here, like a guy, right? If you're into that, right? If you're into dating men or women, whatever the case may be, right? You meet someone of the opposite sex or the same sex, again, whatever you're into, and they're already in a relationship, and you make it clear that you want monogamy and that you're not interested in someone who's already in a relationship. And so, again, why would someone in their right mind allow themselves to catch feelings, even if, because there are certain signs that male or female can have sex and hold back their feelings, right? So even if the person has sex with you, just because, I think, is the assumption that because this person has sex with you, they're automatically going to have feelings for you and automatically going to open up to you and automatically going to start calling you or blowing up your phone? Or, is that an assumption? And this is not something that I'm going through, right? I'm mentioning this because I watched a video earlier ranking zodiac signs, right? And again, over the years, I've heard people say that Aquarians are distant or don't open up to people, or that we are cold, which we can be, unless and until we like the person. And so I'm bringing a different perspective as an Aquarius. And I'm asking, what does that mean, or what does that look like with other signs? And then in situations where it's not favorable, right, for a person, and I'm just saying me because I'm having the conversation, right? So in a situation where it's not favorable for me to open up and let my guard down, i.e., right, someone who's already in a relationship and or married, why in the world would I allow myself to catch feelings for someone who is already in a relationship? What in the world would I get out of that? Sounds like nothing to me. Even if sex were involved, okay, you want to be a hoe and sling your thing around because you don't care about the person that you with, obviously. That's how I look at it. Then, okay, let's go there. But then, again, do you think that means that person just lets their guard down and all of a sudden, oh, they just supposed to start pouring their heart out to you when you haven't done the same thing? Is that how that's supposed to work? I don't know. I don't understand that. So the people that are saying that Aquarians are cold and distant, have you opened up yourself and then that person didn't reciprocate those feelings? Or was it an unfavorable situation where it didn't make sense? Because maybe that Aquarian did have feelings, but they're not going to tell you because, again, it's not, what sense does it make if it's an unfavorable situation? So then you have two people that's lying to each other or that's in a situation just to be in a situation. Or, like I said before, both people are holding back. Because you're just telling some superficial, I mean, superficial stuff. If you're a content creator, let's say, for example, right? And I just so happen I've seen your content, so I kind of, not that I don't use social media to get to know people, because in my mind that doesn't make sense. I think you need to get to know a person by spending time with the person and not on social media. But hey, I guess I'm retarded, because people be on social media and they be like, oh, I know you. No, you don't. You don't know anything about me. You've read some things that I've posted. You've then made assumptions. And maybe you've seen a video here or there, but you've never actually seen me in person. And you have not spent time with me. So how in the hell can you say that you know somebody that you have not spent time with or even met? You know some things about them. I'll say, for example, I met somebody on social media, right? This was a female. And I had a pretty good idea of who she was, right? Maybe 6 years later, I found out she smoked cigarettes. Now, in all of our interactions and all of us talking, and not only did she smoke cigarettes, but she cursed like a chimney. Never did that when we interacted with each other, right? Also, she was very sick, right? Never knew any of these things. So when you're meeting somebody online, unless you're asking certain questions, there's only but so much that you can know about a person from social media. Even watching a YouTube video. Somebody who's doing a YouTube video, they might just pick a certain spot in their house to shoot this video. And for all you know, and it could be clean and neat and sparkly and all, and the whole rest of their house could be nasty, might have chicken bones and stuff on the floor. How do you know? You don't. You're just assuming because on camera you seen this cute little area was all nice and clean, that this person is clean. Then too, you can't smell people through the internet or through social media, how do you know that this person even bathes on a regular basis? You don't. Now, and unless they get really up close to the camera, you can't see their teeth situation. Do they brush every day, or is it full of plaque and tartar? You don't know. You don't know that. So if somebody really wants to get you to know you, though, they will make an effort. So if you have two people, or at least one person, again, they come with this conversation, oh, I have a dog. They're telling you they have a dog, and then you have sex, and they're expecting you to tell your whole life story, yet they've only told you about the dog. I don't understand that. Help me make sense of it, because it doesn't make sense to me. And again, how do other people do this thing? How do other people operate as far as that's concerned? Because again, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know what other people do, because I'm not other people. But unless someone says, okay, and I'm not even going to go there, because that's another thing. I don't like... Either you're that type of person or you're not. I don't like... And people do change, and people are willing to do certain things for you, and I get that. But don't do something for me because I said something about it or because I complained about it, right? Let's just say, for example, if a man opens doors, he opens doors, right? If he doesn't open doors, then he doesn't open doors. Now, I'm not going to tell you to open my door. I'm just going to leave you the fuck alone. I'm not saying anything. I'm not doing that. Because if you're not that type of person, you're just not that type of person. So you're not the right person for me. So I'm going to, exit stage left, as they say, right? Why do I need to tell a grown person, oh, well, I'm not going out with you again because you didn't open my door? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I shouldn't have to raise somebody else's son and tell somebody else's son what to do and how to behave. Now, if some other woman told you she don't want no man opening her door, I don't care. That doesn't have anything to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. Because all women are not the same. And so you should treat women according to who that woman is, and not based on the experiences that you've had with other women, and not based on what worked for you with other women in the past. Those things don't make sense to me either. We're all individuals. You cannot assume that all women are the same, or all men are the same, or all people are the same. There are a lot of grimy people out in the world, right? And they do some manipulative, vindictive, spiteful things. I choose not to be that type of person. But if I see that you're that type of person, I choose to say bye-bye. And there have been friendships, relationships that I've been in where I'm like, okay, let me give this person the benefit of the doubt, or that's just how this person is. I know that I'm not like that, and I know that, it's not guilt by association, or what's the other one I say? Birds of a feather flock together, whatever the case may be. This bird of a feather that doesn't apply. But I understand more now why people feel that way. But again, everybody's not the same. And so we cannot make that assumption that everybody is the same. Because everybody's not the same. Everybody doesn't behave the same. Everybody doesn't act the same. Everybody wasn't raised the same. Everybody doesn't have the same morals, values, or sensibilities. Some people don't have any morals, values, or sensibilities at all. And so they just do whatever, whenever, however, and they don't ever think about anybody else. Or they don't ever think about consequences. But there are some people who do. There are some people who are on the extreme end of that. And then there are some that are in the middle. So again, it's individual. What is that person like? You can't go by what somebody else does, or has done or did in the past, even if 10 people were like that, number 11 might be different. That 11th person might be completely different. So you can't just make that assumption like, oh, well, women are like this, and that it's just not fair to me. I don't think it's fair. Maybe, again, I don't know how other people operate. I just know what goes on in my brain. And I know that in my brain, certain things just don't make sense. And that's it, and that's all. And whether or not it's the status quo or, again, what most people, if it's the 95%, Aquarians are, and this is another thing they said in the video. Well, Aquarians are unorthodox. We like to beat, what do you call it? Dance to the beat of our own drum. We don't do like the societal norms, and I don't have to do what everybody else does. I don't have to wear what everybody else wears. I don't care. I don't choose to do that. I don't choose to fit in. I don't choose to be part of a clique. I don't have to do that. That's just me. I don't have to do that. So, I'm sure there will be people who disagree with me, and that's fine, because we're all different. We're all different so that we can learn from each other, not judge and criticize one another, right? And if you choose to, be that judgmental and critical type of person, that is absolutely great. Great. Do what makes sense to you. And the world will be all right. But if I choose not to do that, that should be fine too. What's wrong with accepting someone for who they are, the way that they are, despite the fact that they're different and it's not something that you would do? Who said that they had to do something that you would do? Why? Why does anyone have to do what you do? Does it make them respect you? You respect them more because y'all do the same thing? Or does that make you feel like you can trust that person more? Right? You're not trustworthy, but because if that person does what you do, which is some grimy, sneaky, snake, vindictive, spiteful stuff, then that means you can trust that person. And that makes sense? So you sitting there not telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, but you expected them to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I don't understand that. If you're hiding something, they're probably hiding something too. Again, if you are only saying surface level things, I have a dog. They're going to say surface level things too. I get my nails done every week. So how do you expect someone to go deep if you're not going deep? Again, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. And again, from an Aquarian perspective, if we pick up on someone who's full of it and not being genuine and not being their true selves with us, we're going to be the same way. We'll tell you what we want to tell you, and we'll leave the rest behind. Because I know that you're not being genuine with me. I know that you were talking junk about me. Again, I don't have to call anybody out on it. But at this point, I've decided to no longer just associate, just to say, in the name of family or friendship or whatever the case may be. I don't want to make those sacrifices anymore. But, yeah, we're usually really good at human lie detectors. and we can tell that someone's not being genuine. Even if again we give them the benefit of the doubt and they'll say something that makes us go, what's that about? Some Aquarians will call a person out on it, and some of us won't. We'll just distance ourselves and go away, saying bye-bye. Because people get defensive and then they lie even more. And we don't like conflict either. I don't, just stay away from me. Stay over there. Go play with somebody else who wants to play. Especially those people say, oh, well, I thought everybody was like that. No, everybody doesn't, start out by being dishonest and not being able to speak their truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. No, everybody's not like that. There are some people who are not like that. And they choose to associate with other people who are also not like that. Like, it doesn't make sense. Nobody's going to beat you if you tell the truth. You're not going to get in trouble. You're not going to be on punishment. So what if somebody yells? So what if somebody gets mad? If you're a grown adult, why does that bother you to the point where you can't even tell the truth? But you expect them to, again, let their guard down and be head over heels for you, or whatever you expect. I don't know. Just tell you all their business. Again, after you've told some surface level BS, you think that they're going to, and they can tell if you're lying. Aquarians, we can tell if you're lying. You just made that fucking story up. We can tell. So you just come with some BS story thinking, oh, I'm going to tell this person a story about me. That's going to get them to tell me so-and-so and such and such. No, it's not. I don't know why people think that other people are stupid. Just because somebody, I think that too, people are used to people who like conflict. Oh, don't be doing all of that. Why you ain't tell me so and so and so? I don't have time. You're not my child. And even if you was my child, I'm not doing all of that. Because if you was my child, I'd probably just put you on punishment for lying. But just because I don't call you out, or Aquarians don't call people out sometimes. We're just sitting back listening to the story, being entertained, asking ourselves, I wonder how long this person going to think they're going to get away with this, and how much longer this person going to think I'm damn stupid. We are entertained by it. We sit back and enjoy the show. We just sit back and enjoy the show, because that's what it is, a show. It's so entertaining. Like they said, what? I mean, I don't have to gossip about it or tell anybody about it. Like somebody said, I'm not even gonna go there. But just so happened it was somebody that we knew in common. And this person just was like, basically, so-and-so and such and such about that person. And I was like, yeah. But again, I'm waiting for that person. Even though I may know something about somebody, I'm usually waiting for them to be honest about it. Because that can make a person feel uncomfortable if they were not ready to talk about it. But then in certain situations, if somebody's really trying to play you out, sometimes you do have to say, you do know that I know so-and-so and such, don't you? And they're surprised when you mention it, because they didn't think you knew. They thought you were stupid and didn't know what was going on. And I don't understand that. There are certain things you can see. There are certain things you can feel. So why did you think that I didn't know? Why do you think other people don't know? You think that you are a certain way and that people don't notice because they don't say anything and call you out on it? Like, I love Capricorns. Capricorn's one of my favorite signs, right? But there are some Capricorns, Sagittarians. There are some signs, but I'm talking specifically about Capricorns, right? They tell some great stories, and they be lying their ass off. You'll be cracking up, laughing, and everything. But they know how to tell a story. Sagittarians do too. They tell a good story, but you know damn well they lying. Not always. But I'll say a good at least 80% of the time, they lying their ass off. And so again, as an Aquarius, I'm going to sit there and listen to the story, and I'm going to laugh when appropriate or whatever the case may be. But why do I need to call that person out? They know they're lying. They know they're lying. I'm not getting ready to get myself aggravated because of how somebody else is. Again, I'm just going to distance myself from that person or not hang around them as much and not get myself aggravated or, have to go back and forth trying to figure out when they lying and when they not. Then they be having other people, and some of them, they'll have somebody else in on the line. Oh, didn't so-and-so and such happen? Knowing damn well now y'all both lying. And y'all really think I'm stupid. And I just say stuff like, oh, for real? Wow. Or I'll just laugh. And people always, when people lie about something and I laugh, then they say, why are you laughing? Because I'm not getting ready to play games with you. That's why I'm laughing. Because you funny. And by you funny, what I really mean is you full of shit. And not all the time in every situation. But I don't understand why people can't tell the truth. Again, nobody's going to beat you. You ain't going to get a beating. So why you lying? Now, again, my Capricorns, I love me a Capricorn and I love me a Sagittarius. Those are two of my favorite signs, actually, especially when it comes to men and not dating them, just being cool with them. I love me a Capricorn and a Sagittarius. The other signs are cool too. I'm just saying in terms of personality, I think that Capricorns and Sagittarians have a great sense of humor and great personalities. And again, I date men, so I'm specifically referring to the men, right? And they are great storytellers, although sometimes they're not being honest. Not all the time, but I would say a good portion of the time. That story is embellished like a mug. But you gotta love it. Because they love to make people laugh. They love to entertain people. This video ended up being way longer than I thought. I'm not mad at it, but I didn't expect to come on here and say all of this. I didn't know what I was going to say, actually. I just know that you can't expect somebody to be willing to do something that you're not willing to do. How does that work? Are other people oblivious? And so, again, you tell them about their dog and they tell you their whole life story, and that's what you're used to, or that's what you expect? Or do you respect the fact that Aquarians are just a little bit more intuitive, and we're actually paying attention to things that you don't realize we're paying attention to before we just spill it? Because unless we feel safe and comfortable with you, we're not going to let that guard down. I don't care who it is. It could be relatives we've known our whole life. If they did something to us that was not right, we are going to distance ourselves from that person. We don't care who it is. You mistreated me. I don't feel safe around you, so I'm going to keep my guard up. Period, point blank, end of discussion. So again, we'll tell you what we want you to hear. Now, we might end up eventually telling you the whole thing if we feel like it. But if we don't feel like it, then we won't. Because you're not being real with me. Or you were mean to me. Or I know that you were gossiping about me behind my back. Or I know that, you make these faces and that you don't really mess with me like that. And that's how we think. So again, it's not that we're not willing to let our guard down and open up just for the sake of not opening up. There's something in you that's making us stay closed. Again, if you have a YouTube channel, because I don't think I finished that thought. If you have a channel and you discuss certain things on your channel, oh yeah, I have a house and I have kids, or I don't have kids, and this is the school I graduated from, and this is the type of things that me and my friends, blah 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 blah, right? And then we say we meet in person, and you tell me that same story. You're not opening up to me, so why would I open up to you? You just told me the same thing that you told the whole world on social media. You're not telling me anything really personal about yourself. You sharing, that's general information as far as I'm concerned. That's not anything really telling me about you and who you are and what you like and what you like to do or where you like to go. That's surface level information. So you are surface level, yet you expect somebody else to go deep with you and let their guard down. It doesn't work that way. You have to give what you're asking for. And I don't think that's what people don't understand that. They're not willing to give that, and then they'll say, oh well, again, Aquarians are distant or Aquarians are cold. But how are you with that person? How are you showing up to that Aquarius? If that Aquarius tells you something, and again, you go back and tell it to somebody else, that's called gossiping. Nobody gave you the right to repeat what was said. So if I tell you something and then you repeat it to somebody else, why would I tell you anything else that's really important to me? No, I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm not telling you nothing because you're going to go back and repeat it. And then in certain instances, we do that on purpose. We tell you certain things so you can go back and repeat it because we know you're the snake. But usually it's something that we don't really care about. I don't care if other people know that, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you. But if we care that other people know it, we're not telling you. We're going to keep that information to ourselves. Oh, can't tell that person. I have a piece of coconut stuck in my mouth, and all of a sudden, oh, I just took a sip. This is coconut water. But I made it myself, so it has pieces of coconut in it. Anyway. Yeah, like, why would we... We're not going to do that because we've already feel like you violated us. So, no, I'm not going to open up and share certain things because I can't trust you now. Because anything I say, your potty mouth going to go tell somebody else. Or what is it called? Diarrhea of the mouth. You can't hold water. As soon as somebody tell you something, you got... And I mean, if y'all on the phone, as soon as you get off the phone, let me tell you so-and-so. I'm not telling you nothing else. So if that makes you feel like I'm distant, well, I'm distant because I don't trust you, because you can't be trusted. I didn't give you permission to tell anything that I said. So since you repeated what I said, now I'm not telling you nothing. So how could you possibly wonder why? If you mistreat us in any way, shape, form, or fashion, verbally, mentally, physically, emotionally, and then still ask that same question, oh, why are you so distant? Why would I let my guard down when you hurt my feelings? We are very sensitive. We don't play that shit. I'm not fucking with you like that. And you don't hurt my feelings? Hell no. You get the super distance. That's what we do. So I'm not going to, I don't have time to argue, call you out. Like I said, we don't like confrontation. Now, if you start something, we can finish it if that's what we need to do. But we don't start with people. Again, we just distance ourselves. Ooh, that person ain't my cup of tea. But again, we may still interact with you because you may be a coworker, a relative, a friend, or whatever the case may be. So we're going to still interact with you in certain cases. But again, it is going to be on a very surface level. Now, maybe when that Aquarius is drunk or high, they might tell you, they might share a little bit extra because we do like to talk. But if we don't feel safe, and I think this applies to men and women from, based on my experience and having conversations with other, and even talking to Aquarius men, if we don't feel safe, you can forget about it. We're going to keep our distance, emotional distance, social distance, whatever kind of distance we need to keep. Because we're very sensitive and we don't like for people to hurt our feelings and mistreat us. So if we feel like, using us for whatever, sex, money, place to stay, whatever that looks like, or you just talk to us because you're trying to pick us for information, or whatever, any deception indicated. Again, we're like human lie detectors, I promise you. But we just don't call people out on it. Why do I need to call you out on something that you know that you're doing? And if you know that you're doing that, and then if we mention it, all you're going to do is lie and say, I'm not doing that. I didn't do that. I didn't say that. And try to gaslight us and make us feel like or think we crazy and we just made it up and don't know what we talking about. When we know damn well we didn't make it up, and we know damn well we know what we talking about. So then again, that creates even more distance because I'm not getting ready to deal with you. So not only did you try to play me, now you lying to me. Oh, we don't have time for that. We don't want to. We like to laugh. We like to have a good time. We like to keep things light and fluffy. And that's, probably one of the reasons why Capricorn and Sagittarius are two of my favorite signs, because again, they have great personalities. I mean, when I say I love a Capricorn and a Sagittarius, not all of them. Please don't misunderstand that. Because the unrighteous ones and the people that are living in their lower selves, when they living in their lower selves and they checking off all the unrighteous boxes, no matter what sign it is, they hell. But we like people with a good sense of humor and a good personality. And we understand, and there's a difference between lying and being a liar. And I remember reading an article some years ago about dating, what do you call it? Online dating, right? And it basically said, the article basically said that most men are going to lie on their online dating profile. And like, say for example, the guy is 5'6", he might lie and say he's 5'10". And that really disturbed me. And that's one of the reasons why I don't particularly care for online dating. And like I said, in order to get to know somebody, you really need to spend time with them and actually get to know the person. And really, you can ask questions, but if you ask questions, people can lie. You really have to spend time with the person and really get to know the person and see how they respond, like, and really watch them and pay attention to them. And people can pretend for a really long time. I do understand that as well. But they can only pretend but so long, and certain things are going to come out if you're paying attention. But to me, again, that was very disturbing. Why would I want an online date when most of the profiles is a lie? If you 5'6", just say that. Why can't you say that? Because eventually you're going to meet this person if that's why you're on the site. So why would you lie? Again, it's nothing to be ashamed of, embarrassed of. Be a man and say, yeah, I'm 5'6", but that don't mean that, whatever. Like, be confident in who you are. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not even going to go there. But there's nothing wrong with having a shorter stature, right? So what? It doesn't make you less of a man. I remember once, some guys at work said, what do you look for in a man? Or what's important to you about a man? Or something along those lines. And I said, his character. And they said, and money too, right? And I said, I didn't say anything about that. I said character. And they said, and what kind of car he drives, or something. Like, they said like 2 or 3 different things that I wasn't saying. This is not a subliminal message. I spoke my truth. I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. His character. Now, if has money, great. That's just a bonus. But if he's a jerk, he could take that money and shove it where the sun don't shine. I don't care about what kind of car he has. I don't care about what kind of house. I don't care about any of it. What I said is character. That is what is most important to me. And so if his character is not where I think that it should be for me, right? And I feel like I can't let my guard down with him, I'm out. I'm out of there. I'm not using him for his money or his place to stay on. I don't do that. And everybody else has to do what they feel is best for them. Because I know that there's someone, that's stupid. Whatever you feel, you handle it however you need to handle it for you, baby. Again, those things are bonuses if it comes with a good character. But if you can't be in a relationship with me and be honest with me, I don't care what the truth is. I don't care what the truth is. I am a very good secret keeper. If you share something with me and I know that it's something that would embarrass you, or it's something that you just don't want me to say, or you say don't repeat this, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to tell other people because I'm discreet and I'm private. So I wouldn't do something to you that I wouldn't want to be done to me. There's a woman on Facebook, or no, YouTube, right? And it was very interesting. And I'm not saying that I would deal with this. I'm not saying that I would not deal with this. I'm just saying, no matter what the truth is, say it, right? So her title of her video was, I have a husband and a boyfriend, right? And her husband and her boyfriend are both bisexual. It's something that they discuss within 2 weeks of knowing one another. So again, no matter what your truth is, speak your truth. I'm in Atlanta, right? There are a lot of men who, and it's not just about Atlanta, because when I was in New Jersey, it was the same thing. I went to high school with a guy who he straddled both sides of the fence, and at any given time, he had a boyfriend and a girlfriend. But he spoke his truth. He didn't lie to anybody about it. Everybody knew what it was, and everybody knew where they stood within that situation. And he would, if one day he was in the mood for her, he was with her, and if the next day he was in the mood for him, he was with him. And people respected it because he was honest. It's when you're not honest that people have a problem. I can't judge you. Well, people can judge you and they can talk, but who cares what they say? If they don't accept it, fuck them. If they don't want to deal with you because of it, so what? But you spoke your truth. There are plenty of people, though, that will accept your truth and be good with it. Not judge you, not criticize you. And again, might even create a whole goddamn, they eating off that YouTube channel, trust. All three of them. And the couple has kids. And the boyfriend wants kids eventually too. So it ain't a whole poly relationship. There are plenty of, and they're black, yes. There are plenty of those out there, though. They are not the only two, or the only three, rather. So whatever you're into, speak your truth. But again, if you're holding back, how in the world could you expect somebody else to just let their guard down when they know deep down inside you're not speaking your truth? I went out with somebody, and the person said their name was one thing, yet the name on their driver's license is something else. Who are you? You want me to let my guard down, and I don't even know who the fuck you really are. Who are you? Is either one of those names really your name? But people don't think about stuff like that. They don't think, oh, well, I'm not being 100% open and honest. They just assume because you're, I guess because I'm a woman or because I have a vagina, that I'm just going to be like all the other women and just, again, let my guard down and open up to you, and you're giving me nothing. You're giving me the bare minimum, but I'm just supposed to put everything out on the table. That doesn't make sense. I'm getting ready to get off of here. I love y'all. I thank you for listening. My back is starting to get tight. I came out to get some sun. I like to get a little sunshine. I like it when it's the summertime and I can really get dark. It's not quite that time of the year yet. But this arm always gets really dark. I always have a good little tan all summer. And then I come back to this brown. I don't know. I'm not complaining. I love myself. But I'm just saying, I like when I get darker. So, I came out to get some sun. I wish I was on the beach. But nonetheless, I came out to get some sun, but my back is starting to hurt from sitting here so long. And again, I didn't plan to do this video this long. I thought I was going to be in and out. But I hope this was helpful to somebody. And I love y'all. Later.